Hey, Jalil.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear
All
me?
right. I can hear you well.
Awesome. How are you doing today, Jalil?
I'm doing pretty good, doing pretty good.
Good, that's good. So we have a few people in here. I know you want to probably get started. So
Yes, let's get started.
let's start by introducing ourselves, Jalil. I'll start first. For everybody who doesn't know, I'm Tyran Lawrence. I am a broker here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm licensed in Georgia as well. I'm originally from New York City. I've lived in Charlotte for 8 years, the best city ever. I love it here. So the purpose of this meeting today is just for us to talk about what we do. Jalil, you want to start by introducing yourself and telling people what you do as well?
Yes, my name is Jalil Lord. I am a commercial real estate broker. I have my own company, Realty Group. I've been doing commercial real estate for 4 years. I've been in real estate for 4 years. I've also been in Charlotte for 8 years out of Philadelphia. And Charlotte is home now. And my primary focus in commercial real estate is retail, office, land, industrial / flex space.
Awesome, awesome. So Jalil, we want to just, give the people a little bit about what we do day to day. What can we do to be helpful for them by just giving them a brief overview of what services that we have to offer for real estate, residential and commercial. So let's start off about the benefits of commercial real estate. Tell us a little bit about your perspective on commercial real estate investing.
Well, commercial real estate investing is, especially in the Charlotte area, is great right now because you have so many areas that are booming, so to speak, far as land that's available, redevelopment, office redevelop retail spaces, or more so industrial spaces that are being converted to office or retail spaces. So the investment world is wonderful. And right now you have the conventional and SBA loans that are that the interest rates are very reasonable for small business owners and mid-level business owners as well.
Awesome, awesome. And what would you say to a person who wanted to start a business? Would you suggest to them that they lease or purchase a building or a small space? What do you think is better, leasing or purchasing?
That literally depends on the startup, where they are in the startup process. You would want it more so because at the end of the day, you're still going to spend a nice amount of money. You're still going to need a loan depending on where you are. So if, say, for example, you're a startup boutique, you've had, say you're a salon, you do hair inside of a basement. So you have generated a nice client base, or you have a nice cash stashed up, probably $10,000. You'll still need a loan to secure the space. So regardless of where you are in your business, it all depends on your appetite. So you need to know what your credit is like, especially as a startup. You need to have a business plan. You need to detail regarding your collateral. Also have your books, records, financials together. Your bank statements together, whether it's personal or if it's business, because it depends on where you are. Like I said, you may just have personal that you need to convert over to business, or you may learn already that you need both. So it all depends on where you are, literally in your process. But then there also are some startups who have the collateral or the angel investors who will be able to assist them in purchasing. So it literally all depends on where where you are and your appetite for your loan.
Agreed. Well, I'm glad that you touched on those points, Jalil, because me being a broker, I have helped some clients who have these great business ideas. They want to open up salons, they want to open up boutiques, as you mentioned. And what we're coming across is a lot of these long-term leases, or these what they call a triple net lease. Elaborate a little bit on that as far as what a triple net lease is.
Okay. So let me touch on first when you say long-term lease. So what most people don't understand is when you, especially in Charlotte and our surrounding areas, a typical lease minimum is 3 years. So you'll get individuals say, "Hey, I'm looking for a space. I'm a startup. I'm looking for a space for 6 months to a year." That's unrealistic in this climate. So a short-term lease is typically a 3-year lease um, to begin with. So you have to understand that you're committing to a 3-year lease because technically the owner or the property management is a silent partner in your business because they're investing in you by letting you the space to succeed. So they wanted to make sure that they're going to reap the benefits as well because you're supposed to be paying rent. They don't want to pay rent. They don't want to give you secure for 12 months and then they have to promote another 3 to 6 months outside to get someone else back into the space. So you getting in there for a minimum of 3 years is beneficial for them in their eyes and beneficial to you because you're growing your brand and you're being established. And far as triple net, basically the triple net is taxes, maintenance, and insurance, and not insurance for your business, insurance for the property. So everyone who's a tenant is going to split the taxes on the property, the maintenance on the property, and I mean maintenance, outside maintenance. You have your landscaping, you have your road work, things of that nature, and then like I said, taxes, their property taxes on the property. So every tenant is going to split that depending on how small or how large it is going to dictate how much you're going to spend. Of course, if you have a 700 square foot retail space or office space, you're not going to pay the same triple net as a 10,000 square foot space would pay. So it's definitely based on the size of the space, and it's an addition outside of the base rent. That's what most people don't understand. Like they'll say, I have $3,000 rent limit. So you have to make sure you clarify is that you're going to be paying base rent and your triple net fees on top of that. So you have to make sure you educate your client or prospect that it's a difference between your base rent and the triple net fee as well. Because you have most clients who look at LoopNet or Crexy and they're like, "Hey, I found a property for 3,000, or I found a property for 3,500." That's the base rent that they're requesting for that potential property. You have outside fees that they're requiring if it's a triple net lease as well.
Agreed. I visit LoopNet a lot with a lot of my clients. What do you think about LoopNet? What's your opinion on LoopNet? Do you find it helpful for people that are looking for a commercial space, or do you find it to be just like another Zillow type platform?
Well, basically, LoopNet is only a microcosm of what is out there because they have a big brother software that us brokers use. So none of my properties that I have is on LoopNet because I'm not paying the additional fee. So if they not, the only way you're going to see certain properties on LoopNet is if the actual broker or the owner is actually going to pay the actual parent company a fee to put it on the platform that you can just Google office space and it's going to pop up because it's for outside individuals. Because 9 times out of 10, an individual who is looking on LoopNet, either it's just getting into getting in commercial real estate, as far as like a broker who doesn't have the other platform, or or it's a prospect who doesn't have a representation. So 9 times out of 10, that's literally what you see there. Multiplied by 100 is what's out there as far as the properties are concerned.
Okay. Well, you know something, Jalil, I find that since this pandemic has happened, a lot of young people, a lot of like our demographic of Black people, minorities, you find them getting more so in the entrepreneurship business, starting, like you said, startup businesses. Are you seeing more of our people of minority, people of African American descent? Do you find them calling you, "Hey, I started a business. I'm thinking about looking for a space." Have you been getting a lot of those calls lately? And what's your take on that?
Yes, there is definitely an influx of minority business owners, startups. So yeah, it's I think it's a good thing. It's just all about properly educating them on what they're going to foresee in the future. But I think it's a good thing that there's a lot of individuals who are branching out into the entrepreneurial world and starting a business or having an idea of business that they want to embark on and things like that.
I agree. I totally agree. I find it to be, something that, we should all do. We should all, even within our 9 to 5, like they say, don't go to work every day and, help someone with their dream and then come home and, fell on your own dream. So I find that to be very intriguing that a lot of us are moving towards the entrepreneur spirit. I had a boutique, Jalil, here in Charlotte, in the Gastonia Mall, back in 2015 to about 2017. So,
off of East Ridge?
Yeah, no, the Gastonia Mall is the off of what is it? The New Hope.
North New Hope, yeah.
Yeah, and I was fresh from New York, and I didn't know anything about Gastonia, let alone Charlotte. And I had met a broker, and he was cool. He was helpful, and he told me, he says, "Hey, listen, Charlotte has about 3 or 4 malls, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're starting up your new business, you should go to an area where the rent will be cheaper." So I'm thinking, okay, he mentioned Gastonia, and he said, well, that's just a few minutes south of Charlotte. Your lease will be, your rent per month will be a little cheaper, and they'll work with you. So I went and I opened up a storefront in the Gastonia Mall for 2 years. And I'm telling you, I wish that I would have done my homework. And I got stuck into this lease. And basically, once I felt like this space is not it for me, I ended up breaking my lease. What do you say to people who are startup businesses and they are stuck in these leases? What do you suggest to them from a perspective of being a commercial broker? What do you think their best avenue is if they feel like the space that they are leasing is not what it's like what they expected it to be? Maybe they're not meeting their quota. Maybe the space is just not marketable. What do you say to those people who come to you who don't even know, what area? They're new to Charlotte. They're looking for a commercial space, and they're looking for a space that's marketable. What do you suggest to them? What do you say to them as far as getting into a lead and what to expect?
So there's two things, 2 parts of the question. 2 answers to your question. So number one, a lease is primarily in favor of ownership. So it's going to be, unless you have a good owner who's, I guess, I don't want to say good heart, have a kind heart, but is willing to work with you. It's going to be hard to break a lease because you're legally binding, saying you're going to fulfill this duty. Right. So having your ducks in a row and really understanding where your business is going is key. And also, to me, it's imperative that your broker is assisting you and helping you understand what you're getting yourself into. So that's why it's good to have a representation going into searching for a property, because they're able to negotiate on your behalf. Because when you go to most properties, if they have a property manager or already have a broker, their best interest is for that property. So they're going to negotiate for that property. You have some individuals who knows how to negotiate that it's a win-win for both parties. But 9 out of 10, that listing agent is working for the best interest of the owner. So you want to make sure you have proper negotiation on your behalf and education, because especially startups, you don't know what you don't know. So if no one's telling you or educating you on the length of a lease or telling you that you're going to have quotas and things like this to look forward to, it's not just about generating the money. There's other things that are outside that you need to take into consideration. You have your deferred maintenance in your business. You have loss and profits. You have certain things that you need to know. That your broker may not be able to understand your actual business, but they can point you in the direction, help you send you to a business coach. Make sure you have a proper business plan in place that you can foresee or actually see down the line, this may become an issue, or this may not become an issue, because once you sign that lease, it's binding. So you don't want to get into a situation where you're not able to fulfill that lease obligation. And also knowing your area, because you can see this. Like I'll get clients who say, yeah, I want to spend this, or I'm looking for this, that, and the third, and I'll advise them what areas will work for them. But they're like, well, I want to be in Uptown, or I want to be in South End. Number one, if you're a startup and you have a $3,000 limit or $4,000 limit, it's going to be hard for you to stay in that area. So, say for example, at the end of the day, I can educate you and provide you with the information. But when it's all said and done, I have to listen to what you advise me. So if you want to go down there, you go down there, but you need to know the area, location. Is your business going to thrive in this location? Do you know your traffic count? Do you know the medium salary income in a 3 to 5 mile radius of the location you're looking for? Those are stuff that your broker should know and should be able to educate you, because that's going to help dictate. Do you know the foot traffic? So it's so much that goes into it. Do you have competition a mile down or around the corner? These things that your broker should be able to educate you on. So knowing those things will help you thrive, especially as a startup.
Absolutely. Well, those are good pointers. I actually, I had a client that I helped this year. She had a salon space. And it was perfect because it was a salon previously. So I definitely thought it would be perfect. It would be low cost on, building up the space, because everything's already in a salon format. There's a piping for the sink for the water to flow. So it was a perfect location. It worked out for her. But where I was so helpful was that I was able to come from a spectrum of, hey, I had a boutique before or I had a business before, and I wanted to be able to tell her, hey, wherever you go, it doesn't matter where you are. Marketing is so important. People think location is everything. I totally agree with that, especially people being in Uptown. Uptown's like the sought after area in Charlotte. However, it's really, really expensive to be down there, right? So when you go to areas that are not in Uptown, maybe they're, north of Charlotte or west of Charlotte, well, what they would consider not the nice areas, they're a little cheaper or less expensive as far as the rent per month. However, they get into these spaces and then they're not happy. What do you suggest as far as, I know we touched on the topic of just being in a location, as far as a business, because we're business people, even though we're in real estate, this is our business. What would you say to a business person or just a person who thinks that they're going to be in a space and the space is going to make them money? How do you say to them, or how do you discuss marketing? Or do you not touch on those topics with your clients, as far as like, hey, you are going to be in the space is one thing, but you have to market your business? Or is that something that you tell your clients, or are you kind of like, well, they should know that they're entrepreneurs, they know what they have to do to market themselves? Do you encourage that for your clients as well?
If it's a startup, yes, I do, because I try to give them as much information as possible, because they're literally jumping into a land of the unknown. So I try to educate them in every aspect, because if I don't, then I feel as though I'm not fulfilling my duties. So yes, I let them know that I advise. I don't tell, I advise, because at the end of the day, I can only give pointers, and if they choose to listen, they choose. They do not. I did my part in suggesting things that I believe will help them thrive. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to just say, well, I secured the deal just to make the money. You want them to thrive, because at the end of the day, if they're growing, and you did what you're supposed to do, they're going to come back, or they may come back with, not just from a leasing perspective, they may come back with some purchase. So yes, I try to make sure that I do what I can to provide them all the information needed for them to succeed. But marketing to me is it's a little different now, because you have social media. Most businesses they are gearing towards a certain demographic or a different market because of their social media platform. Mm-hmm. Going hand in hand with flyers and things like that, to me, is a thing of the past. So you need to a nice social media following and backing for, especially to draw the attention towards your business.
Right.
You know, and I left. Yeah, location can also play a factor because if you're a nail distribution, you want to make sure you're centrally located to where a lot of nail salons are. If you are, you know, a a plastic distribution, you want to make sure you're near a lot of industrial places. So it all depends. So location is key as well. You know, where you can be, if you're at an end space or an end cap, it's just I should say, in a retail strip mall, your location is going to draw attention because there's going to be more eyes at that particular location. So location plays a part as well. But if you have a great social media platform and making sure that you are, who to market towards. Because if you're a brewery, why are you going to go knock on dentist office? So you got to make sure you're marketing the right demographic.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's go into the topic of commercial loans and how do you qualify. I know in residential real estate, we have, your typical conventional loan, your FHA loan, your VA loan. As far as commercial loan, if someone wanted to just, hey, I want to diversify my portfolio, I want to maybe invest in some commercial real estate. What do you suggest as far, what is the pattern like, or what is the process like with the qualification for commercial loans? From your day-to-day, because I know that when you are in commercial, it's either lease or sell. However, when you have a client come to you, are they coming to you with their own proof of funds? Is there a lender in place? Is there an investor? What does that look like?
So you have a client who's coming to me for assistance, and they're seeking property for purchase. If they are established, more than likely they already have their financial institution under their umbrella. So they may already have that niche taken care of. But if they do not, I'll provide 3 individuals or 3 companies, that I have worked with in the past, and let them do their due diligence and getting to know them and feeling comfortable with doing business with them. But I always advise that you have your business tax returns in place. You have to have your books and records and financial reports together, because they're going to ask those things. Last 3 months or more, 3 to 6 months of bank statements. Your details will go on your collateral. If you have other properties in place that you maybe have investment property, you have a home, make sure you have that information available. Your business plan, very detailed, because they need, at the end of the day, they have to trust that this business is going to work. They're going to provide you the loan to make sure that, because this business is going to work. Or this investment, you have what it takes to secure it. Any existing debt that you take care of it. Making sure your credit is good. I know most people don't believe that credit is as important in commercial real estate, but it's important if you want for your interest rate purpose, and things like that. So a typical process, you have your period of your vetting period, where you're providing all the information about your finances. Make sure your student loans up to date. Make sure your credit card payments are up to date. Because of any red flags, it's definitely going to be a deterrent to any financial institution and their underwriting, because you're asking them for money for a business. You're asking them money for an investment. So if you're not handling your personal business, it's going to be hard to secure a business credit or business loan.
Mm-hmm. That's important. That's very, very important. I see a lot of people invested in commercial real estate. I've even seen people invest in like co-working space. And if people don't know what co-working space is, that's just a space where you share office space with other people who have businesses. Have you seen that a lot lately? A lot of people wanting to open up co-working spaces?
Prior to the pandemic, yes. Now, no.
Mm. Would you say that would be a good business to get into post pandemic?
Right now it's still fresh because you still have a lot of people are working from home now.
Right.
So a lot of companies don't require you to be in the office, so that or office setting, and getting a breath of fresh air may not be as important as it was, because a lot of people still, society is still trying to come to grips of what's going on. Are we safe or are we not safe? So it was thriving prior to the pandemic. That was the next best thing. You don't need an office space. I can just rent out a 200 square foot space for an hour, 2 hours, and conduct my business.
Right.
So it was thriving. It was booming, but there's definitely a realignment in that realm, in that world right now. So it's still unknown, because we're still in the not in the thick, but we're still in the abyss of the pandemic.
Right, right. How did you guys do in commercial? Because I know in residential, and even now, like it was, we had our bidding wars, um, oh man, I'm running out of time on my Zoom. Okay, we only got about 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up real quick. But well, with residential, we had the bidding wars. It was low inventory. The homes were high. We were getting bidded out by Zillow and Open Door and OfferPad. How was it for you guys in commercial? Did you guys experience that same type of environment, or was it steady?
It was very steady, believe it or not, because the interest rates were so low. They were basically, giving the loan away. So a lot of investors, or a lot of established business owners were buying. So I had a lot of deals of purchases instead of leases, because there were a lot of people who were scared to lease because they don't know what people are going to come back outside. But from a purchase perspective, there were a lot of individual purchasing, a lot of individual purchasing, and if you had like boutique restaurants or fast food, you were doing pretty well. So I had a lot of owners purchasing that were already secondhand or third generation restaurants.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, I'm so happy, Jalil, that you're a Black young man in business. I think what you're doing and what you're bringing to Charlotte from your native hometown, Philly, is really, really great. There's a lot of young men that are fresh out of high school, that want to get into real estate, and maybe just need some pointers. What would you say to the younger generation of Black young boys as far as coming out of high school? Would you suggest to them that they start their own business? Do you suggest to them that they go to college and get a degree? Do you suggest that they do both simultaneously? What is something that you could say to the younger generation, or to your younger self?
Well, my younger self probably wouldn't going to college, but it all depends on where you are. So if you feel as though education is going to propel you in the future, yes, I would advise you to go get your education in the collegiate, in the college world, in the college realm. But if you feel as though that you have a business acumen and you may need a class or two to help enhance your knowledge or your understanding, I would advise you just to take a course in accounting or take a course in business. But jumping right into the field of the field of being an entrepreneur is your best teacher to me, and having a great mentor to show you the way. Because I'm literally self-taught in commercial real estate. I didn't have like the traditional path where you're under a small brokerage and they give you the smaller deals and teach you along the way. I literally learned from the ground on up. So I came in a little unorthodox. So, but I advise it's not an easy process. You have to have patience. You have to be consistent, and consistent is definitely the key, because in order to thrive, especially in the realm of commercial real estate, a business owner, a startup, or anyone that's in investment, they have to invest you, number one, with their business, they have to invest you with their money, you know, that you are of knowledge that you can put them in the best position to win financially. So that takes time. You just can't walk in and say, hey, I want to help you and help your business thrive. You know, you have to be understand, you have to be educated, and you have to have great communication skills to get them to understand that you will put their best foot forward to succeed.
Good stuff, Jalil. For those of you that are just checking in, we're talking with Jalil. He has his own commercial real estate business. It is called the Fraser Realty Group. Is that correct, Jalil?
That is correct.
That is correct. He's right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So if anybody is looking to invest in commercial real estate here are you licensed all over North Carolina, Jalil?
I'm licensed. Yes, I'm licensed in all North Carolina. I've done deals. As long as I stay in North Carolina, I can do deals wherever. I've done deals in Texas. I've done deals in South Carolina. You know, as long as I am practicing in the state of North Carolina, I can do commercial anywhere.
All right. Well, y'all heard it here. He is available to you guys. If you guys are interested in investing in commercial real estate, if you're looking to lease a space, maybe you have a business idea, maybe somebody in your family has a business idea, he's a good person to contact. Jalil, if you want to, go ahead and drop your email and your phone number to the people that we have in the audience today.
Yes, my phone number is 484-685-2904. And my email address is my first name, JAHLIL @frg-commercial.com. And you can also visit my commercial real estate website, frg-commercial.com. And you can see what my company is about, what me and my brokers do, and our responsibility, and how we are available to help educate and guide you through your process, whether it's leasing, purchasing, whether it's 1031 exchanges. We do top to bottom.
That's all right. If anybody has any questions, I could go ahead and unmute you guys. Hit us up in the chat if you have any questions or concerns. He has dropped his email and his phone number. If you guys weren't able to get it, I'll go ahead and send everyone Jalil's information. You have any outros for us, Jalil?
Well, just basically, you know, this is the perfect time to be in commercial real estate. You know, you have your SBA loans at a great interest rate. You have business. You have a vast number of properties being built. So that means more people are coming to the Charlotte and all surrounding areas. So that means there's going to be more opportunity for your business to thrive, whatever that is. And you don't have to be local, far as, you know, in your local community. You can branch out. So it's a beautiful time to be in commercial real estate.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jalil. We loved your pointers. We're so proud of you. Keep doing your thing out here in Charlotte. We'll definitely be in touch. I don't see anyone have any questions. So I guess just safe to say, everyone, thank you for joining and your time today. We do this Q&A every Wednesday. If you guys have a topic that you want to discuss, if you have any questions for Jalil, let us know. We're definitely here. Thank you so much, guys. You guys have a great day.
No problem. Thank you very much.